Today we gonna explain the first season of Demon Slayer and the story of it. But first of all, don't forget to subscribe and also like for more awesome video. Anyways, let's get into it. Protagonist Tanjiro Kamado leaves his family to sell charcoal in town and returns to find them slaughtered after what seemed to be a demon attack. He takes the sole survivor, his sister Neskel, down to the mountain for medical treatment, but infected from the demon attack. Neskel turns into a demon herself and attacks Tanjiro. A member of the Demon Slayer Corps, Giyu Tomioka, arrives at the scene and tries to decapitate Neskel and is stopped by Tanjiro, who begs Giyu to spare her life. Giyu's initial reaction was anger directed at Tanjiro's weak resolve and proceeds to stab Neskel, prompting a failed attack from Tanjiro. Giyu knocks him out but is surprised when Neskel fights him to protect her brother. Gyutom sends Tanjiro to a man named Sakanji Urokodaki and tells him to keep Neskel away from sunlight. The siblings and Gyutom part ways. Tanjiro carries Neskel in a basket to shield her from the sun as they head down the mountain. Here, the siblings meet Sakanji Urokodaki while they try to fight off a demon, where Tanjiro gives up a bad first impression with his lack of resolve in killing it. Turns out, Urokodaki received a letter from Giyu requesting that he trains Tanjiro. He accepts. Neskel has been asleep for a year while Tanjiro trains with Urokodaki. One day, Urokodaki takes Tanjiro to a large boulder and tells him if he can slice it in half, he can enter the final selection, in which survivors get to join the Demon Slayer Corps. As he is about to give up, after 6 months of no progress, he meets Sabito and Makumo, two orphans raised by Urokodaki, where they help hone his fighting and breathing techniques. After another 6 months of training with the two, Tanjiro finally wins a duel with Sabito, where he successfully cuts Sabito's fox mask. Sabito and Makumo smile and disappear, revealing the boulder now sliced in half. Whoever survives after 7 days at final selection gets to join the Corps. Tanjiro faces the hand demon, who has already killed 13 of Urokodaki's students. Enraged at the mention of Sabito and Makumo, whom he killed, tells it to aim for the neck and slice it off. Tanjiro makes it through final selection with 3 others, Zenitsu, Genya, and Kanao. He comes back to see a relieved Urokodaki and Neskel, who is finally awake. Tanjiro's new sword turns into a rare color, black, wind-drawn. He receives his first mission, find and defeat a demon that's been kidnapping young girls. The demon responsible for these disappearances turns out to be one that can split in 3 and use blood demon art to travel into a liquid dimension. We learn about the one who is probably responsible for the massacre of the Kamado family, and can be the answer turning Neskel back into a human. Kibu Sajimusen, progenitor of all demons. After fighting off the swamp demon, Tanjiro heads to his next mission in Tokyo. As he tries to rest, he smells a familiar scent from his household. He finds out it's Muzan, who's apparently a Michael Jackson lookalike. Tanjiro witnesses Muzan turn an innocent man into a demon by scratching his neck. So he tries to hold the man and gets beaten by the police. He's saved by a woman, another demon who is a doctor and apparently also wants to kill Muzan. This woman, or Tamayo, has the ability to turn humans into demons, and same as her companion Yushiro only needs to consume a tiny bit of human blood instead of Eve. She also wants to study Neskel's blood, and Tanjiro agrees to it. While this conversation is happening, 2 demons cut Susumaru and Yahaba, ambushed the house. Susumaru and Yahaba do Tanjiro a service and announce themselves as part of the 12 Kazuki, Muzan's top gentlemen. Tanjiro has a hard time playing dodgeball until Yushiro pins his blood demon arch spell on him so he can see where Susumaru's balls are flying. He joins forces with Neskel and Yushiro to battle the 2 demons and manages to decapitate Yahaba with a modified form of his water wheel. At this point, everyone is exhausted. Tamayo steps in and casts her magical aroma of daylight to slow Susumaru's brain while asking her if she knows that Muzan is setting the demons up to fight each other instead of him. The demon accidentally says Muzan's name and is killed by his curse. Turns out these 2 weren't part of the 12 Kazuki since their eyes don't have any numbers. The 4 part ways and Tanjiro heads southeast for another assignment where he meets Zenitsu. Zenitsu tells Tanjiro that he was forced by his master to become a demon's lair. He follows Tanjiro regardless and they meet 2 kids outside a demon-infested house whose brother has been taken in, Zenitsu and Tanjiro, and so the 2 kids enter and find out that the house can shift, separating them. Tanjiro faces a demon that flips the room with a tap on his drum and then we're introduced to this angry boy guy Inosuke. This episode is literally just Tanjiro and Inosuke trying to fight the drum demon or Kyogai. In another room, Zenitsu screams at the top of his lungs out of fear and attracts another demon which she surprisingly kills using his thunder breathing. He just doesn't remember anything and he wakes up. Oops, wrong anime. Zenitsu and the boy are thrown out of the house as it flips. Inside, Tanjiro learns about Kyogai past before he kills him. Kyogai loves to write but he was belittled for it. He cries as he dies and Tanjiro collects his blood. Back to the Nitsu, he's out here trying to shield Natsuki from Inosuke's attack even though he knows she is a demon. As Inosuke is ready himself to stab Nitsu, Tanjiro steps in. They get into a pretty violent fistfight that results in some cracked ribs and a concussion for Inosuke. After the fight, the group follows the crow to a house with a wisteria crest where the toes are resting till healthy. Nesigo comes out of a box and gets harassed by Zenitsu. The group follows an order to go to Natagumo Mountain where demon slayers have been slaughtering each other and have been seen hanging on threads. They're attacked by some demon slayers and Tanjiro realizes that they're being controlled like puppets on strings. They meet a spider demon who tells the group his mother will kill them. Inosuke then uses his spiritual awareness to locate this female demon that the spider boy speaks of. Spiders and strings with a nice coincidence. The mother controls the demon slayer and uses them to fight Tanjiro and Inosuke but kills the girl when her Sandry threatens to tell father if she is too slow. After fighting a headless demon doll, Inosuke sends Tanjiro flying to the mother where she blissfully accepts her death as an escape from her husband. She warns Tanjiro that one of the 12 Kazuki is on the mountain. Zenitsu gets bitten by a spider demon and is supposed to turn into a spider himself in 30 minutes. He gets a flashback to his training where he pretty much failed at everything but one. His first form of thunder breathing which he practiced for countless hours and perfected. Awakened by this memory, Zenitsu kills the spider demon and uses his breathing to slow the poison. Tanjiro and Inosuke once ahead to Zenitsu but are interfered. The two Hashira, Giyu and Shinobu arrive as reinforcement. At this point everyone is doing their own thing. Shinobu goes to help Zenitsu, Tanjiro fighting really in what seems like a one-sided battle and Inosuke nearly being killed by the father after he fails to stab his thick skin. Before the father could kill Inosuke, Giyu arrives and finishes him off. Shinobu injects the Inosuke with an antidote to save him from the spider poison. Elsewhere on the mountain, Gidi decapitates his sister out of envy after witnessing Netsuko block his webs from Tanjiro. He is willing to spare Tanjiro in exchange for Netsuko but is refused. He then reveals himself to be Lower Moon 5 and continues his attack. Trapped in the thread cage on the brink of death, Tanjiro remembers his father's special breathing technique and turned his water breathing into Hinokami Kagura breathing. Coding H. His blade in flames and slashing through the red threads. Netsuko's suspended mid-air Baidui wakes up after seeing images of their mother and uses her blood demon arc to ignite her blood, making it burn through the threads, helping Tanjiro decapitate Rui as her burning blood touches his blade. Gidi puts his head back on and tells Tanjiro that he cut himself using a thread before he can get killed by his sword. Tanjiro is trapped by a cage of threads until Guei arrives to save him using the 11th water breathing technique he created. His sister is supposed to kill demon slayer Urata when Shinobu comes to his rescue and slices her head off. We're seeing Dua's backstory and how he was demonized by Muzan, leading him to kill his parents and build a pretend family to fill the void. As he dies, he apologizes and reunites with his parents in the afterlife. Guei recognizes Tanjiro and Netsuko and protects them from Shinobu who wants to kill Netsuko. The siblings are brought back to the butterfly mansion where Tanjiro wakes up in front of the Hashira. The 9 pillars are Hashira, water, insect, flame, sound, love, mist, stone, serpent, and wind. These 9 are putting Tanjiro on trial for traveling with a demon. Urokodaki has sent the master a letter asking him to approve the Tanjiro situation by vowing that he, Tanjiro and Giyu will kill themselves if Netsuko ever attacks a human. This still does not convince Sanami the Wind Hashira, who pours blood over Netsuko's box and stabs it. She comes out drooling. Netsuko approves her humanity by turning away. The master instructs the siblings to defeat demons and prove themselves worthy. After the trial, the siblings are taken to Shinobu's mansion to recover where they reunite with the Nitsu and Inosuke. Back at the butterfly mansion, the master and the Hashira have a meeting discussing the new recruits and Muzan, who seems to want to hide something. Van Gogu, the flame Hashira, goes on a mission in response to a sighting of an upper moon demon. As Shinobu's mansion, the new recruits are put through rehabilitation training where Tanjiro learns to perfect total concentration reading from Kanao, Shinobu's apprentice and adopted sister. One night, Shinobu reveals to Tanjiro that she vows to find a way for humans and demons to peacefully coexist in honor of her sister, and she's now calm knowing Tanjiro is carrying out her sister's dream. Backstory for Kanao: poverty made her parents sell her and she was taken in by Shinobu and her sister. She is given a coin to toss after being unable to make decisions for herself. Tanjiro asks Shinobu about sun breathing and she tells him Dengoku might be of help but he's on a mission. Muzan in his female form caused the lower moons to the Infinity Castle and kills them for their incompetence. Lower Moon 1 Enmu accepts his death but is given some blood and is promised more if he kills the Hashira and Tanjiro. Before the new recruits depart, Tanjiro bids Kanao farewell and tosses the coin for her, helping her decide she should speak her mind whenever she wants. Tanjiro, Inosuke, Zenitsu, Nezuko and Rengoku aboard the Mujin train to face Anamoo. And that's Demon Slayer Season 1. And, if you really liked the video, do forget to like, share and subscribe the channel. We will meet in the next video with more awesome anime content and also with another parts of Demon Slayer. Anyways, for now, bye, goodbye, sayonara, Jana.